Alright guys, welcome to the
And don't forget to love this game.
podcast. This is your host for today, Josh.
Jackie.
Your boy Rob.
Ryan.
And John. Okay, today we're just kind of give an intro to our podcast. It's called the I Love This Game podcast. We're just going to be talking about soccer. I don't know how often we'll release these, but they're guaranteed to be good every time. I think we're going to go around in a circle. I'm just going to say, again, say my name, and I'm going to say who I support, so you guys have a better idea of where we're coming from with what we say. Alright, so I'm Josh, as I said before, and lifelong, since I was 10, Fulham fan. Grew up in the area for a while, so it's kind of just, it's a team I fell in love with. Yeah, it's John. Same as Josh, my favorite team is Fulham, but if I had secondary teams, I would say Tottenham, Liverpool. Yeah, I like those teams. I like teams with a lot of young English talent. England is my favorite international team, and Russia is a close second.
Ryan, just an avid Napoli supporter. Gotta love players, guys that are 5'4" under. Yeah, Insigne Shaqiri, that's it. That's it.
And West Brom.
And West Brom. I'm a West Brom fan for England, yeah.
What's up, guys? My name's Rob. Unfortunately, I'm a QPR fan. It's gonna be a long season ahead of us, but I think, and I'm a U.S. men's national team fan.
Men's national team.
Men's national team. And women's. But yeah, that's a little taste of me. Jackie, go ahead.
Let's stay on.
Hey, yo, what is up? I'm Jackie. I don't really have a team I support, but I really like Tottenham. I like what they did this past season.
And so on.
And so on, yep. And you gotta respect Borussia too. Kakao.
Wait, he's not there anymore.
Oh, that's awkward. But I also really like Ajax. I also like what they did last year in the Champions League. They bring in the young talent, and they really use them, and it's exciting to watch.
Alright, yeah, so we also have some guests on some of our podcasts, but most of the time we'll just be us five. So today we're going to talk about our predictions for the upcoming 2019-2020 season. We're just going to go through like the big European leagues, say who we think is going to win it. We'll say a surprise team or a surprise thing about the season for that league, and then a disappointment as well. So I'm going to start it off, kick us off with Serie A. The winners of the 2019-20 Serie A, in my opinion. I went on a limb here. This was a tough one, but I'm going with Juventus. I think they've only gotten better, and adding De Ligt, replacing the older legs and having defense, I think there's no way anyone's going to catch them. But their second place should definitely be Napoli. You want to go ahead and just say your surprise or your disappointment too? Okay. For me, my surprise is going to be Napoli. I think they adding Manolas was a big signing. They're in the market for James Rodriguez too. I think those two would be huge signings for the club, and I think
Ed Fekir now.
unlike Juventus,
Fekir.
Fekir
what?
He's linked to Napoli now, yeah.
I think with Juventus, I think they're going to concentrate on Champions League a lot this season, so maybe it won't go as hard in Serie A, whereas Napoli kind of wants to win Serie A after becoming so close for a couple seasons. So I think they'll concentrate more, and I think they'll make it a lot tighter race than it's been in previous years. And I see like a Liverpool Man City thing where both get like record points, but Juventus comes out on top. My disappointment is going to be Atalanta. I don't think you can't finish third every year. Inter is definitely going to replace them in third place for me, but it's just a good story. I wish them well in the Champions League, but it's just they're not going to be as good as they were last year. I don't see how. All right, to John now. Okay, so yeah, I went with the obvious first place in Serie A, that being Juventus. I just don't see anyone else being closer or competing anywhere near their quality. They've improved, and they've dominated for the past 5 years, so for someone to say anything else I think would be ridiculous.
Okay.
My surprise team, I think, will be AC Milan. It being a surprise, because they always disappoint. So I think they'll actually get top 4. So and that them breaking that trend is a surprise. And my disappointment is Roma. It's an aging squad. They've lost some key players, so they didn't make top 4 last year. I can see them struggling for Europa League spots this year. On to Ryan.
So I've picked Napoli to win the league, obviously. Can't pick anyone else if you're a supporter for them, but I do think Juventus actually are the favorites for the entire season. But I kind of agree with Josh with them focusing on the Champions League now with Ronaldo wanting to probably win another one with another team. And Napoli they're dying to win the Serie A because so many years Juventus has just kind of rubbed it in their face for so long. Agreed. I think my disappointment team is Juventus because they will not win the Champions League and they won't win the Serie A, but they'll be great. That's my disappointment because they're expected to win, but I think they won't win.
I see that.
And my surprise is actually Atalanta. I think they've kept all the great players they had last year. They've actually added 2 or 3 quality midfielders and defenders. So I think Atalanta still are better than AC Milan, Roma, Lazio, and I think they will be able to compete with Inter for that 3rd place spot.
Okay. Agree, disagree.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to agree with John and Josh here. Juventus are going to win the league. I can't see any other team really competing with them. Their squad's only getting stronger. Ronaldo, he's making himself more of a leader on that team. I can't see him losing it. My surprise team I actually have is Sassuolo. They've added a few young...
Kevin Prince?
Yeah, no. No, but they've added a few young talented defenders, Andrew Gavilan and Jeremy Toljan. And I think if they have a good season this year, they could... I'm not saying they could make a Champions League spot, but I could easily see them fighting for a Europa League spot.
But they've lost some decent midfielders to some top clubs as well, recently as well.
Yeah, but they're still bringing in talent. They've lost players, but what did they get last year? 12? I think rotating the squad is good for them, and I could really see them improving from their mid-table position from Serie A.
Possibly be Atalanta down the road.
Oh, easily.
No.
It would be a strong.
What did you say your disappointment was?
My disappointment is agreeing with John here. Roma.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really found players that really fit into the positions that they've lost, and I can only see them just struggling. They struggled last year, and they'll just be struggling this year. And yeah, Jackie, take it on.
No, Jackie. As everyone except for Ryan has said, I also believe Juventus is gonna win. They just have incredible depth.
Wankers.
You can't stop Ronaldo. The guy seems to be doing well every single season he plays. The new signing, He's worth the price that they paid, and he's going to show it. They're consistent, season after season. They do it every time. My surprise is going to be Napoli.
It's still recording. It's recording.
My surprise is definitely going to be Napoli. I think if there's one team that could win the league, other than Juventus, it would be Napoli.
But why would you think Napoli?
But if you're saying another team that could win the league,
but
no other team can win the league for Serie A. Not in the years coming.
But don't you guys put a factor in they both got Inter and Juventus both got new coaches? Don't you think it's going to take at least a season for them to completely adapt? Even though they got world-class players, Ancelotti's not been there for a whole season.
I don't think it was really the
I don't think that makes up 15 spots.
Sorry, no, it's
50-point difference.
I don't think it's going to be much of a...
And they got the best young defender.
And I also feel like the system that they're playing under,
and I honestly
doesn't
think
work well with the players that they have.
But it's going to take a little bit for them to get used to.
I don't know. Ronaldo's being moved to striker, and he's playing striker.
I honestly think Sarri did well at Chelsea for what he was given.
Napoli
with the toxic atmosphere Chelsea brings, and he did good, and I think he'll do well.
QPR fan coming out. QPR fan coming out.
Napoli signed some players.
Listen, when Sarri was at Chelsea,
it's going to take time to adjust as well.
He had Giroud and Morata to work with up top. Now he's got Ronaldo.
Okay, but...
And Mandzukic.
But three of the teams that are competing against Napoli all got new managers. Milan, both the Milans, and Juventus.
And that's why I said Napoli would be the surprise. They still have the consistency.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There'll be a surprise second.
My disappointment,
Yeah.
AC Milan. Just because, they're always disappointing.
Yeah.
But, I think we all like to
see them.
reminisce on the old days and
Yeah.
look at the history of the club and want them to do well. But I think now that they just lost Andre Silva, there's a huge hole in their attack, and they don't have that
Who's
much.
their manager now?
For who? AC Milan?
Yeah.
They've got the
Allegri?
Sampdoria coach.
Paolo or something like that.
Yeah,
I knew it was a new guy.
Paoli.
he left from Sampdoria. He did well at Sampdoria though.
But yeah, I think AC Milan is gonna. I don't even know if they'll make Europa.
Marco
Yeah.
Giampaolo.
Yeah. Giampiolo.
Giampiolo.
He doesn't last the season.
Yeah, I
We'll
bet
call
he
him
doesn't.
that. He doesn't last the
Bring
season.
back Gattuso.
Yeah, he'll bring in some old.
Bring in
He'll
Pirlo.
Yeah, Pirlo.
Bring in Pirlo.
Alright.
So,
let's move on.
wrapping up here, I'm moving on to La Liga. For me, the champions, it'll be close, but it's going to be Barcelona again. They're just too good. They add Griezmann. They're probably going to add Neymar.
I don't know about close.
Real Madrid added a bunch of great players, but I just don't see them being as good as Barcelona. I just can't see it. My surprise this season is going to be Betis. They're in the running for Fekir as well. If they can sign him, they can definitely get Champions League spots, especially with Atletico Madrid going down, not being as good. I think Betis could pull them out again, slip in there. And then my disappointment is going to be Atletico Madrid. You know, when you replace Griezmann with Trippier, you know you're not going in the right direction. I see them kind of becoming about Sevilla's quality, so they could end up in Europa League. They're definitely not going to
And might bring it.
And they lost Godin as well.
Yeah, Godin's right. Yeah,
They got a Porto center back. He's okay, but they brought in FC Porto.
and they got Herrera. That's not right.
another
And
Porto.
they got
guy.
João Felix, but I don't think he's good enough to
Not yet,
contribute
yeah.
yet. As much as Griezmann did. So I just don't think it'll
Do
be
you think
as good
Simeone
this
can
year.
bring the best out of Trippier, the World Cup Trippier?
Yeah.
Do you think that
Yeah.
could happen?
Really?
João Felix just got hurt.
Thought like
He
extended
got hurt
period?
again.
Yeah, he played 22 minutes, got hurt.
I don't know, man. If they can keep close to
I do think Trippier will be better, and he
That's what I think.
It's
He'll be
like
better.
this past season
He'll
he
be
was not
he'll
good
be
at
better.
all, so hopefully he'll be back to
Atletico
the
than
World
he
Cup
is.
best.
All right, John.
Yeah, I went with the obvious Barcelona, winning the league again. They signed De Jong, and I think by the end of the season they'll sign Neymar. So, no matter how many signings Real Madrid do, they're never going to catch up to those two. Hazard being overweight and overage, and
Do you think there's going to be a swap deal with Neymar?
the rest of their players being unproven. I think Barcelona will lose some players, but they won't be starters, so it won't affect them as much as another team
Well, they already lost
might be
Kevin Prince.
affected. Yeah. My surprise is Real Sociedad. I see them filling the Celta Vigo role, where just a random Spanish team does good, fights high Europa League spots, flirts with Champions League every year, and Sociedad are just the one this year.
I think they got relegated.
And my disappointment
Yeah,
is Valencia. They always seem to be fighting with Sevilla for that fourth spot, but I see them not even making Europa League this year. I don't know. The one score I've checked with them, they lost, so that's enough to convince me.
I've gone with the obvious as well, Barcelona. Just too much quality. My disappointment team is also Atletico Madrid. Just the players they brought in compared to the players they lost. And then my surprise team will be Sevilla as well. They've done a lot this transfer window, but I think the quality they brought in, I can go down the list, but right now I just think Sevilla will actually be that surprise team that can kind of get in the fourth spot or Europa League as well.
I would argue Sevilla fourth place isn't a surprise.
Is it? You don't think so?
No, I think they're usually the fourth best team. They're like Valencia, fourth or fifth.
Well, there's Atletico Madrid. I think they could do better than Atletico Madrid this year, and it's fine. And same for like Villarreal and Valencia. They're all kind of just fighting for that one.
And I mean, what did Sevilla finish last year? 7th, 6th? I think that's just because they lost Nasri. I think that's just the natural effect that happens.
Rob?
No, yeah, so no surprise here. I got Barca winning the league.
Am I the only one who has Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think Real Madrid are still on their rebuilding period. I still don't think they could catch up to Barcelona. They're just far way too good. I think Barcelona just too talented for
I think Zidane came back in at the right time.
I think there's been enough said on
It's not
Barcelona.
like a complete, rebuild phase. I feel like.
You got to say what they about Barcelona.
but they're still not at Barca's level right now.
Barcelona's going to be concentrating a lot more on Champions League, I think, than previous years.
Yeah, they do want
It's
to.
been, it will be 5 years since they won Champions
I know,
League.
but their
if they win
team,
this year. I think
their
they're
squad's good enough for
kind of go all in, especially after the embarrassment.
easily do well in both.
I
I can
know,
see him
but
win.
I think
I can see him win 3 trophies.
That'll make
next
it a
year.
lot closer.
I can easily see that.
No amount of HGH is going to stop Messi from aging, so he doesn't have many years left.
So yeah, my disappointed team is going to be Atletico Madrid, losing Griezmann and replacing him with
It's just in that.
João Felix. I just don't think João Felix is going to bring what Griezmann did at the time, and I just see Atletico Madrid agreeing with you guys, just being a disappointment. My surprise team, I'm agreeing with John here, is Real Sociedad. They got very talented young players too, as I said with Sassuolo.
Zarbial.
Yeah.
The winger, Aris Bulaga.
He did very well in his U21 Euros, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did very well.
Spain did one, right?
I think Real Sociedad's going to be a surprising team fighting for Champions League spot at 4th place. Yeah, that's what I see.
Alright, unlike everyone else, I have Real Madrid winning. I think the exit of Gareth Bale and the entry of Hazard is about to light up.
Yeah, Bale's not even gone.
I think Bale's leaving.
Yeah, well, for sure, yeah.
Bale's leaving. Within the next 48 hours, he's going to leave.
He's not gone.
Zidane literally said he needs to leave.
I don't think anyone wants him.
Nobody wants
enough
him
to afford how much.
Nobody wants him
there.
And I don't think he wants to.
Maybe probably 99.
How old is he?
What's
He's
your
what, 30?
I can see
29, 30.
Tottenham's been spending the big bucks this summer. Could you not see him go back to Tottenham?
No, I don't see him.
I mean, they've been saying.
I think everybody. I think I could say a lot of people want to see that.
Yeah. For like a cheap price, I think he'd go. Like cheap being like 50 million.
Yeah.
I could see Wolves.
He won't go.
I could see Wolves signing Gareth Bale.
He's not Portuguese.
I really think if I were him, I would go to China. Beijing wants him.
Yeah.
And anybody who's injury prone, though,
that would kill his career.
They probably have like medical advancements over there that they don't have in Europe. Honestly,
honestly, maybe.
They kill his career.
But listen, though,
they kill his career.
His career, how much better could it get? What team could he go to where he would be a
star? Would you say it was his time at Real Madrid was good or bad?
Good.
Good in the beginning.
I would say it's good, but people have turned it to where
he won them the Champions
But that's Real Madrid for you. Look what they did with
Yeah,
Casillas a few years back, trying to force him out. It's a hard club. It's a hard club to please.
I used to like them, but the way they treat their players,
the way they treat their players is awful.
Yeah. But
I think Gareth Bale, if he can find a club and to consistently play, I think he can.
That's why I said.
I think because he is a fantastic player.
I think if he goes to the Premier League, he's just going to get injured again. That league is just. It's way more intense than the La Liga in terms of staying healthy.
Yeah. So what are your other predictions for the La Liga?
So my surprise is Atletico. I think since Griezmann left, and João Felix came in, if João Felix stays healthy, I think he can fill that role. And grow into a great player.
Yeah,
I really think
people are expecting too much.
I really think he can. I'm not saying Atletico would win the league at all, because I feel like it'd be Real Madrid, then Barca, then Atletico.
It's not a surprise then, no.
I think people think Atletico's gonna suck because Griezmann left.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, Atletico's only Griezmann.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
I think they have a solid
defense.
Did Godin leave too?
Yeah, Godin left.
I still think that whole team, though, like, year in and year out, they're always consistent. Top 4 at least. I think they're going to qualify for Champions League again. But I really do feel like they're not going to be as bad as everybody thinks they are just because Griezmann left. I think they'll still score goals.
I think Godin's going to be a bigger loss than Griezmann is.
Ooh.
I do.
No, I agree.
I do.
Godin was an absolute leader.
Their defense is what made them so good. And
but
he's been such a big part of it.
But Griezmann
but
was
they play
the only way they were able to.
I mean, Godin's a fantastic player for the role, but they still have.
No, I see Griezmann as just.
I think Morata's gone back to Atletico. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Griezmann's just another player in the long line of good strikers for Atletico. Aguero, Forlan.
Yeah.
Now all of you guys are about to hate me for this. I put Barca for my disappointment.
Really?
I was listening to you talk earlier, and you said too much quality. And I firmly believe that it could be a bad thing to have too much quality. If they sign Neymar, I really think they're not going to do as well as people think they are. Just because the team is super stacked doesn't mean they're going to do super well. If you look at their defense, all they have is Piqué, Jordi Alba, Semedo, and Umtiti. If one of them gets hurt, that's a huge
They have the French
loss.
guy,
Lenglet?
Yeah, Lenglet. He started over Umtiti because Umtiti was injured, but he still filled in the spot and played well.
I just don't think they have enough depth in their defense and too much depth in their offense. is who's going to have consistent playing time. And if they're just going to keep rotating, they're not going to get familiar with
Well,
each
they
other.
won't rotate with Neymar, Messi, Griezmann, and Suarez. Like, they're going to make that.
What about Dembele? What's Dembele going to do?
I think
they're
Neymar.
It's probably going to be part of the swap
They'll
deal.
probably lose Dembele, Malcolm.
And Coutinho probably.
Yeah.
Because they know those players, those guys
Coutinho
know
was-
if Neymar comes in that he won't.
Yeah,
they won't
Coutinho is
play.
underrated.
He was so good for them. I don't think people realize that.
What, Coutinho?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
Because
But
he was
they want-
overshadowed by Suarez and Messi.
But Neymar, bro, like it's Neymar. Compared, I don't know.
But I personally don't think Neymar has matured still.
No, he hasn't.
He still hasn't matured. And I don't think he can be on a team with two other superstars.
If only we had a Brazilian to give us some insight on this.
Yeah.
But again, I think they're going to be a disappointment because I think everybody favors them to win the league, like all of you guys, and I really think Real Madrid's going to take it. I think Hazard's just going to go lights out.
Alright.
So yeah,
Hazard.
moving on to the Bundesliga. It was a hard one, honestly, to pick a champion for me, but might not be in the way you think. I'm going Borussia Dortmund to win it, Leipzig to finish second. I think Dortmund, the surprise is going to be Dortmund's attack. I think adding Brandt and Hazard with Elsekar, they just need to add another striker, and they have one of the best offenses in Europe, honestly.
Yeah.
And to get it for so cheap is pretty impressive, especially because Pulisic wasn't as good as either of the guys they brought in.
Yeah.
But I think Bayern Munich's just getting older. I just don't think they'll be as good. Last season you saw like cracks starting to form in the team. They're not invincible like they once were. So I picked them to actually finish third behind Leipzig, who I think
Who to finish third?
Bayern.
So it's Bayern disappointment.
Wow.
And then Bayern will be my disappointment, just because to go from winning 8 in a row to third.
Yeah.
You have to put this disappointment. Yeah. My winner I have being Dortmund. I don't know. I just think that the signings they've made, they're going to be even fresher than they were last year. I don't see them falling out down the stretch like they did last year. And if they get an early lead, I don't think they're losing it. I really don't.
I think Hummels is a big pickup for them.
Yeah, Hummels is going to bring a lot
Massive.
to not only
So
the
much
field,
experience.
but
And the
dressing
morale.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, the dressing room for sure.
Yeah, so I think their older players are still young enough to be good, and their young players are getting better every year. So I think this may be their best chance at
Good enough to stop
having a
Bayern's
team that
attack.
can,
is what
yeah,
you're
that
saying.
can stop Bayern.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll lose Sancho next summer. They'll probably lose some of the other young defenders. They'll probably lose a guy that hasn't even played yet for them and has a good season. My surprise is Leverkusen. I actually think it will be Dortmund-Leverkusen title race. I don't think Bayern will be in the picture much. I just think Leverkusen have everything Dortmund have except experience.
You don't think it could be a three-way title race?
I think it will be those top three, but
It would be
by the
Borussia,
final
then
couple weeks,
Leverkusen,
the
then
final
Bayern.
couple weeks, it'll be Leverkusen and Dortmund fighting out. Bayern may be in the later stage of the Champions League. But yeah, Leverkusen have just a lot of young players. They got, I think, third last season, third or fourth, and they could definitely build off of that.
They got four.
They haven't lost
Pretty
anyone.
sure. Leipzig was
So-
third, right?
I see Kai Havertz having a big year.
Yeah, he's good.
And then naturally my disappointment would be Bayern, just because any year they don't win it is a disappointment, and that's what I predict this year will be.
Alright, I've gone with Bayern Munich as the winners still. I think they still have ton of experience and quality. Even I think Kingsley Coleman's going to step up big for them this year again, and Gnabry was a breakout player last year. I think he can keep his form going. So I've gone with Bayern to win. I've gone RB Leipzig as my surprise. So I think they've added Nkuku, the center mid from PSG. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but they have a ton of young talent. Leipzig.
Yeah.
And
Umpano?
yeah,
The
center mid, the young center mid.
I have a center back that I think is really good as well.
And then I've gone my disappointment, Hoffenheim. They did finish ninth last year, but they were also focused on the Champions League. But now that they don't have Champions League and they've lost a couple of their big name players in the midfield, I think they're going to drop down drastically, almost to 13th, 14th, kind of like how Schalke did. So that's my disappointment.
Okay. For the winner for Bundesliga, I pick Bayern. I can't see them losing it. I just can't see them losing it. They have had their bench is too strong, in my opinion. They have Pavard, Hernandez, Kimmich. Just too many players in depth for this team, and they're all younger and getting stronger. Gnabry and Coleman replacing Ribery and Robin. This team's not going to lose it. They'll be. They could.
Do you think the offense has a lot of depth though?
I mean, with a striker like Lewandowski, do you really need depth with that man up top?
I don't think Bayern's young players have developed as well as the Dortmund players have.
I agree.
I just don't think youth is more of an advantage for Bayern.
And I think why Bayern had a rough start last year is because Kovac was trying to implement a new system on the team, and he's had over a year to
be able to put
the system together, put the guys together. I think he has a better connection with the team, and I think the team will just run off with the title next year. For my disappointment team, I got Schalke. They haven't made any new additions that have been great for the team. Bundesliga teams, they tend to get like Champions League and then fight for relegation the next year.
It's a trend.
Yeah, it's a trend, and I just don't see Schalke.
But
I don't think it's their year of fighting for a Champions League spot, in my opinion.
I mean, that was kind of Schalke's story last year. So would you argue they're a relegation team now rather than a top half team?
I think they're just a mid-table team. I think they're going to be.
I see it like Wolfsburg type team, like they're just kind of there.
Yeah, I mean,
you remember the name, but nothing they do.
Yeah, and then my surprise team, I got SC Cologne. They just got promoted, and they made a few additions. And like I said, with the Bundesliga making weird Champions League runs with teams, I think they'll make a Champions League spot, surprisingly. And,
they're a very big club.
Yeah, and they're a huge club. Yeah, so that's who I got.
All right, for me, I have Borussia winning the league. I agree with Josh. I believe the new signings that they have are going to become a very, very vital role in the title race. And I do think they have a good striker, Paco Alcacer. He had a good season last year, and I think he's only going to have a better season this year.
Just his injury history and not having best fitness is the only thing I worried about with him. But
That's true. If he stays healthy, with Mats Hummels too, I think they're going to win the league. Bayern, like I said earlier, I don't think they have enough depth up top. They have a lot of depth in the midfield, like way too much depth in the midfield. And that's why I have them as my surprise and disappointment. I think it's going to be a surprise that they don't win the league, and it's also going to be disappointing that they don't win a league, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are all pretty spot on about everything.
Moving on.
So now we're going to move on to Premier League. This one we'll give you our top four. Then we'll just give our surprise and disappointment as well. For me, my top four.
For Premier League?
Premier League, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be another Man City, Liverpool, 1-2. In that order, I think Man City is just better. They've showed it the last two seasons. I don't see how they could have gone worse this year. Liverpool, I can't think of any signing they've made that would close the gap on the two teams. But then after that will be a big drop-off, and I think Arsenal might finish third. They're my surprise team. Last season they had a terrible away record, but if they can just sort that out, they will boost way up the table, and I think they can get third place. Especially they only have to concentrate on the Europa League, which, group stages you just play your backups in. So they're my third place, and fourth place I have Tottenham. They did well to sign in Doumbele, and as of now I don't think they've sold any of their starters from last Trippier, I guess, but no big players. So I think they'll finish fourth with Man United and Chelsea behind them. So my disappointment is going to be Christian Pulisic. I think Americans will see the price tag and assume he's going to take the league by storm, but I really don't see him even starting for them, honestly. Pedro, I think, is a better option right now. Doesn't mean he's not going to be good in the future, but just for now, I don't think Pulisic is going to take the Premier League by storm. But I hope I'm wrong. Mine's pretty similar to Josh's. I think the easiest choice of all these choices have been Man City winning the Premier League. Liverpool had to throw their all at the season last year, and they still came up short. I don't see Liverpool being as lucky this year, so I just think Man City are going to just go about it the way that they've done it the last 2 years and win comfortably. Second place will be Liverpool. I could see them suffering in the league and then maybe going on a cup run this year. So I think they'll just be comfortable, be second in the league, and perhaps make a Champions League run, win an FA Cup. I think that'd be a good year for Liverpool. Third place is my surprise, which is Arsenal. I agree with Josh that they were the best team at home in the league. So just a difference in mentality away, and they gain 10, 15 points. And by the end of the transfer window, I definitely see them signing Zaha. So that's just going to improve the team even more, give them that flair that they perhaps missed in the last couple of years. And it's hard to find an attack as lethal as theirs. So yeah, I see them coming third. In fourth, I actually see Man United coming fourth. Every year they look like they're going to be better than they were the year before, and they always disappoint. But I see Bale signing there, having a big year, 15 goals, Lukaku finding his form again, and them just having a comfortable fight for fourth spot. My disappointment, therefore, would be Tottenham. I see them perhaps even coming sixth or seventh. I just don't think they have the squad depth to last, to do what they did last year. They won probably like 10 or 15 games in the last 5 minutes of the game, so luck will, go back to normal, and they won't have as many points as they did. They did sign some players finally, though.
They signed one player, and I don't know, I just don't see their team being fresh. Kieran Trippier is a big loss.
I think Lucas is having a more important role now, though.
I
hope he plays.
I don't know about that. I think Lucas has big games, but then he goes missing a lot.
No, he plays big in big games.
And
though.
Son's a
He
legit
goes missing.
superstar.
He goes missing a
He's
lot. I don't
a very
think
good player.
Yeah.
Son is only going up right now.
Tottenham
Tottenham
had
had healthy
more-
Kane,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Tottenham's problems came against bad teams, so they may have a bunch of big game players, but they don't have enough small game players.
They're the type of team that plays to whoever their opponent's level is. Yeah, very true.
They're like Liverpool before last season.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll turn into Liverpool, but I don't think Ndombele's the signing that does that.
All right, I've gone with Man City as the clear favorites, the winner. I have Liverpool coming in second again. Then I have Tottenham coming in third, and Arsenal finishing fourth. I still don't think United will be able to catch up just yet. And Chelsea, I think Chelsea are going to have a tough season next year with just Lampard coming in. I think they'll keep Lampard, but yeah, I just don't think they'll be able to break the top four. And my surprise team will be Wolves. I think Wolves have a really, really good squad, like underrated squad. I think they could probably fight for another Europa League spot again next year. And that they're linked with Diego Costa for some reason. I think if they do somehow pull that out, I think that'd be a massive signing for them. Like, so much experience, play for the biggest clubs. And my one disappointment team is going to be Newcastle United. I think losing Rafa Benitez is just devastating for them. And I also think a lot of the players like Rondon and some other big names that they've lost, I think that's really going to really affect them. And they haven't really brought anyone big yet, so I think they're going to be my disappointment team for how big of a club they are, and they're going to go down next year. So that's my disappointment.
Yeah, I don't know. They got 30 mil for Perez. I don't know who they're going to sign with that would fit into where Rondon left.
Yeah.
Because
they have Dwight. Really, they really just have Dwight Gale and Almiron.
Yeah, maybe Cameron Jerome.
I was going to put Newcastle as a disappointment as well.
Peter Crouch, Matt Smith. I'm thinking of big men.
That could possibly fill in the role.
Peter Crouch, get him out of retirement.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him
Get a call. Get
If I were them,
up.
I would hand Peter Crouch a blank check. Say anything.
They actually need a Del Trap.
This is the year Adel Trapp finds his 2012 form. I believe in it.
He's a 29 player with a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go as fast as go moves.
So Premier League, I got my top four: Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham, and Chelsea. I think it's about time Liverpool actually win the league or can win the league, Premier League title. It'd just be nice, refreshing. I mean, it's going to be obviously a close one. It was basically I guess, for a surprise. My disappointment team is boring Man United, especially if if Pogba leaves and Ollie's still at the wheel, that they say. I can't see this team going anywhere. I can't see him just. Other than Europa League, I can't see this team going up to Champions League.
I think they'd be better without Pogba.
They're disappointing. They're a disappointing team. Pogba's a fantastic player that gets the wrath.
They'll miss Herrera more than they think too.
Yes, they will miss Herrera.
Pogba dribbles so much.
I think it's important for them. Their success is dependent on whether Hesse and Pogba can finally link up and play together in the same midfield.
Lionel Hesse?
Hesse.
That's the reason why I got him at disappointment.
They have Rashi up front, so he's on a big contract. He's going to prove himself. I believe in that. So.
Yeah, I think Rashi.
I think that's half the club's problem is giving Jay Lenz a big contract and not actually finding a player that'd be useful for the club.
You see Rashford play. He'll take shots whenever he sees the goal. I think they have to go in eventually. So they are
do you think they'll keep Lukaku?
Yeah, but I see him going next year. Leaving.
Yeah.
Like it's beginning of the end for him.
Yeah.
So my surprise team for the Premier League, I got Aston Villa. They've made a lot of transfers this off season. They brought in Mings, Konsa, Target. It's got a lot of talent coming in. I like to use that word, I guess. But but no, yeah, I could definitely see Aston Villa being at least maybe 7th place, 6th place team.
That's what I said.
That's pretty high up, and they're big. They're a big club too. It's been a while that they been in the Premier League, and I think they're ready to get back at it.
I mean, Fulham were a big club that's on.
How did Wolves do this past season?
Not the same as Aston Villa though.
Aston
They
Villa.
didn't go with all Portugal.
Yeah.
No, I think Aston Villa will be the surprise team.
Needs to pick a country and just buy
Fine.
every
Did you all do French?
That's literally the way to do it.
All right. So my top 4. First, clearly, City. Second, Liverpool. Third, Chelsea.
Wow.
And fourth, United. I have City at 1, obviously, because City is they're literally unstoppable. They have games where they'll score 4 or 5 goals and make it look so easy. Liverpool, I still see them maintaining that consistency. I'm not sure how Mohamed Salah will do, though. He showed a lot of patches of inconsistency last season, and if he has a 15-goal season, I think they'll definitely get 2nd place. Chelsea, though, on the other hand, I also have Chelsea as my surprise. Chelsea, I think with Frank Lampard, club legend, as their manager now, it's a huge morale booster. I was watching an interview with Kovacic talking about him, and he was so highly of Lampard. And I think to have somebody to look up to like that...
Because he was a great player.
Exactly.
Manager.
And I think it's a good thing that they have this transfer ban. They're working with what they have and solidifying a proper game plan. And Lampard was talking about how he's going to use the youth. And I think with Chelsea, that's very important for that team. For United, because I think with the new signing... Bissaka, right? Yeah. I think their defense is going to have that morale boost. All the United fans talk about, we need a new defender, we need better defense. I think with him, the mindset for the whole team is they'll feel more reassured. And so they'll go up more and attack more rather than just play boring ball, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you think if they sign Maguire, do you think it's a big game changer for them?
Yes, it's massive. I think they would contest for the Champions League spots even without Pogba. If they get Maguire, I think they'll be fine without Pogba.
Do you think they'll even bring in another midfielder with the Pogba?
So I was looking earlier and I saw a swap deal that's highly likely between Juventus and United. It's Pogba for Matuidi, João Cancelo, and Douglas Costa.
I think if you're United, I think you should take that. Even if
you should. Yeah. Hands down. You should.
If one of them is, you've already signed Wan-Bissaka, so João Cancelo is a right back, so it's kind of a position.
If you get a proper holding mid now too, Matuidi. I don't think anything is going to get past from the holding mid.
But where does the creativity come from the midfield then? If Pogba leaves and then Matuidi steps in, now you have matches.
When Pogba leaves, Pogba dribbled a lot. He held onto the ball a lot. Yeah. He wasn't you can do that in Serie A. You can't do that in Premier League.
Yeah.
He tried to bring what he brought from Serie A to the Premier League. I think if you have a more simplistic midfield, you're going to focus more on the wingers. Rashford, when his first season, when he had the ball at his feet, driving at people, he created chances for them. He got up for them.
Yeah.
But if you got Pogba holding on the ball for so long and trying to dribble it up himself, take long shots and whatnot, losing the ball half the time, Rashford's going to be overlooked. He's not going to have a good season, right? Lukaku is iffy because I think him and Pogba played well together. I think Pogba found him with little chip balls to the chest and whatnot. But again, I think if you have somebody like Matuidi, a simplistic midfield where you just move the ball up on the ground, out wide, I think they're going to be exciting to watch again.
I think the whole team last year was dependent on how Pogba played.
Yeah.
Like when Pogba played good, they won. When he didn't, they lost.
Exactly. And I think that's a very, very...
No, everybody's not.
It's not a good way to approach
Pogba's
it.
gone. No one's going to play good. They're all just going to play bad.
I also kind of think about that. The fact that Man City has 6 center mids that are better than any, creatively better than any of the Man United center mids is crazy.
Yeah.
Who?
Man City.
Man City. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Foden would be the Man United's best.
Attacking
mid.
midfield.
I
Better than
don't
Lingard.
see City losing. I really don't.
No, they just
They battered teams last year.
they still win.
And that's why I also agree with you, John, on Tottenham. I don't think they're going to get top 4.
What?
I really don't.
Really.
They beat teams 1-0, 2-0, and they get lucky.
Yeah.
And
So
yes,
lucky.
they beat good teams.
But what has
sometimes.
Arsenal done that's going to be way better than that? What has Arsenal done?
I didn't put Arsenal in the top 4. I don't think Arsenal's
And you
going to
think
do well.
United
They
have-
haven't signed. Who have they signed?
Arsenal, they've signed one player from the 3rd division.
Exactly. And their defense is atrocious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, they have Aubameyang and Lacazette who are settling into the team, who are great strikers, but dude, they're just going to keep getting scored on. That's how Arsenal is. They will score goals, but get scored on.
Yeah.
You know?
Goal. Liverpool Arsenal games 4-3.
And yeah, Tottenham, they don't get scored on much, but I also feel like when they're playing those bad teams, they don't score much. City, they just score whenever they want.
Yeah.
On whoever they play.
Yeah.
Liverpool's like that, but a little less.
Let's not do let's not do the Champions League.
Okay.
Oh, it's the Champions League.
Another day.
Yeah.
So you guys want to...
We'll just see the groups first.
Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through some of the other bigger leagues in Europe. Not in depth, just who we think will win. I'll go start with France. I think we all agree PSG will win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
That's
can't
no,
see
it's not even
other
really a
team.
competition.
Hands down.
The last of the Big 5 championship. I'm going Fulham winning it. Not just because I like Fulham. I do think we're the best.
Because they
team.
signed Knockout.
No, yeah. And we signed some good championship experience as well as keep you on.
I think their team's better now than they were in the Premier League. To be honest.
Yeah.
You need to get Colin Chambers back there. He had a really good season for you
If
guys.
we can get another good center back, then I think, and then maybe a better goalie.
You don't think the Ours will make a run for the money?
We're a center back away from 100 points, so that's a guarantee. One championship proven center back.
Do you like Scott Parker as the manager?
I think it's too early to call.
I like him more than I like Ranieri.
Yeah, we had more wins
I
under
did not
Scott
like Ranieri,
Parker, but
He played with a lot of players. So I think that helps.
Yeah.
But I just wish we hadn't gotten rid of Jukanovic, honestly.
All right. What'd you put for?
I
championship?
agree that Fulham is the favorites at the moment.
I've gone Fulham as well. Rob?
Yeah, as much as I want to put QPR winning it, I just can't see how. I got Fulham winning the league by a lot.
Fulham as well.
All right.
Probably the best thing if everyone thinks Fulham's going to win. Okay, now we go Scotland. I got Rangers.
I also
winning.
have Rangers.
I think the Celtic era is over.
Yeah.
Stevie G is bringing Rangers a
Stevie G.
title, baby.
I have Rangers as well.
Yeah.
I picked Rangers for
I
this
think
one
Rangers.
I go Rangers as well.
Yeah, all right.
Wow. Okay.
So moving on to MLS. Sorry, halfway through the season, but so I picked clear favorites Chivas USA. I'm from the way down south, so I'm gonna pick them because I'm rowdy and proud.
Don't ever say that.
Oh,
Please never say that.
This is Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with an upset. I'm gonna say Philadelphia Union.
Well, they're winning. How's that?
I can't.
Well, they've never won it. They haven't won it.
You can't really a team that wins the regular season.
No.
Yeah.
But I also think that they haven't won it before though. Like, I'd say it's an upset. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't think however you do in the regular season actually matters.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like the MLS system is kind of not good.
That's true.
But yeah, go ahead.
I have Philadelphia Union. I don't think I want Atlanta to win again, and Philadelphia Union have no big name players, so I think a part of me hopes they win as much as I think they will.
You're messing with Josh.
I've gone with
Josh.
the best Carlos Vela in LAFC.
They're raw.
Yeah, they're so good, and their team just overall just plays the best soccer. And I know Zlatan will probably say something different, and I think, yeah, LAFC for me.
Yeah, I picked LAFC. Bob Bradley's done well with the team. They're playing well right now. Their momentum's going to carry them through win the title.
I've watched one LAFC game this season. They lost. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, the one that you watched. The one.
I hate Zlatan so much.
I'm conflicted between LAFC and LA and United.
I'm not Brazil, yeah.
I think LA and United, I mean, these past 2 years, they've been just phenomenal. But LAFC, Carlos Vela is going off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's
Excited
prime.
team to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
What about Jose Martinez? No, I can't stand him. Cannot stand him.
So now the last of the leagues, we're gonna do Brazil. For me, it's a tough one. Don't watch much Brazilian soccer, but I'm gonna have to go with Flamengo.
You hear that, Gabby?
What? Yeah, I can see no one disagreeing with you.
We've all picked
definitely
Flamingo to win.
top
the
team
league.
Brazil.
Okay, I agree. Okay.
Our Brazilian correspondent agrees that Flamengo are the team to beat in Brazil Serie A, so I think that's a full sweep of Flamengo predictions.
Flamengo.
So now we're going to transition on to our next segment. It's going to be each of us is going to make a case for an overrated player in the football world or soccer world, and then we're going to also do an underrated player, as well as a breakthrough player for this coming season. But first, we're going to do overrated, and I'll start us off. Born in France in the early 1980s, Olivier Giroud is possibly the most underrated striker.
Yeah, underrated. Well done. Yeah.
He's played 9 seasons in First Division in
He's
Europe.
fun to watch, isn't he?
And he's averaged 18 goals a season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like ridiculous. People kind of talk about how slow he is and how he kind of doesn't have the best touch. But he's a class player. He scores amazing goals.
Particularly his highlight. If you just show his highlight reel of goals to his son,
yeah.
You think he'd be the best player in the world, you know?
He's won a league title. He's won 4 cups, a Europa League and a World Cup. That's a great CV for someone who people don't. He's kind of an afterthought for Chelsea. Who would say Morata was better than him, but honestly, Giroud is the best striker there last season. He's top 15 in all-time appearances for France, a team that's won 2 World Cups, and he's 3rd in goals.
Yeah, I think that's
crazy.
Yeah.
For he's actually
I guess
a great player.
I could say that's probably one of the reasons why Chelsea did so well in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Because Giroud started every game. He was basically key.
And you saw in the
Key
last
player
World
for them.
Cup, France was not playing that well until they started playing Giroud as a starter.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing changed, freed up other players to play better, and they ran away with it.
When you mention players that have dominated both in Europe and in America, you think of names such as David Beckham, Bradley Wright Phillips. One name I'd like to float out there is Glenn Murray.
Yes.
He's the definition of goal scorer.
You're talking about
Any country, any division, he's guaranteed goals, and people look at him, and he fits that Gary Taylor Fletcher mold, where you question how he's a soccer player before you question his ability. So I'm just gonna read some stats from 2007 to 2017. So his prime. His record in League 2 was 25 goals in 54 games. His record in League 1 was 54 goals in 118 games. His record in the Championship was 67 goals in 142 games. Wow. Now you tell me that.
That man scores goals.
That's almost
my God.
That's almost a 50% rate that he's scoring goals. Any league, any time, any team. This man was guaranteed goals. And when you thought it couldn't get any better, he decided to try his hand at the Premier League.
Established Premier League.
Over the last 2 years, there's Harry Kane, Aguero, and Glenn Murray are in the discussion for most prolific. 25 goals in 73 games for a team in the relegation zone. He's twice the player Charlie Austin was. Twice the player.
Okay,
And he's won 3 different trophies in his career, which isn't talked about enough either. League One, League Two, and Conference North playoff final. He's one of the greats of our generation. This time he's called up for England.
Send Charlie back to Loftus Road. That's all. That's all we need.
You brought tears to my eyes.
So, Ryan's underrated player. I've gone with Dries Mertens. Hear me out. When you think at the international level for Belgium, I think he gets overshadowed by Hazard a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And at Napoli, I don't think he gets enough credit at Napoli because they just haven't won the league, but he still scored like a ridiculous amount of goals for them. So
And assisted.
yeah, and he's just like he just get overlooked at Napoli because people don't really pay attention to them as much. But this past season he had 16 goals and 35 appearances, 16 goals and 11 assists. And then the year before he had 38 appearances with 18 goals, 6 assists. Year before was his best year. He had 28 goals and 9 assists.
That's nuts.
And then the year before that, he dropped off a little bit, had 6 goals, 5 assists. Year before that, picked it back up with 11 goals and 4 assists. So he was even scoring in the Dutch league as well before he even came to Napoli. But I think as a world-class striker, I don't think he gets talked about enough, just because the team he's at and he gets overlooked by other great players on his national team, for instance.
Do you think if he was in the Premier League, he would do well? Do you think he would have the success Hazard had in the Premier League?
In the Premier League, I think they're different players. I think he's much better at the number 9 role than he is out wide. He came at Napoli as a wide
definitely
player,
better as center forward.
but he came as center forward, and he's a smaller forward, so you wouldn't think he would do good in the Premier League. But he's so quick.
Yeah.
Like defenders sometimes are so used to the Olivier Giroud or
Hold it
just
up,
bigger striker
hold it up,
Prince,
yeah.
but like he's that complete opposite kind of striker where I think
You got like an Aguero.
Oh yeah, that's why Aguero does so
he's.
well.
I think he's a bit more quicker than Aguero.
Yeah.
But Aguero is
A little stronger.
a little stronger than him. So I think my underrated forward that doesn't get talked about being really good is Mertens.
I think it's weird because like knowing you always talk about Mertens. So it's weird to think he's underrated in like some.
It's like
circles.
I've
known about him for a while.
Yeah.
Because I talk about him
Ryan
a
talks
lot.
about him a lot.
But he doesn't get any media attention.
Not at all, yeah. To where how many goals he scored.
Something he's done that's special is make the transition from the Dutch league to a top 4 league, because so many strikers turn out like Vincent Janssen, where they just maybe score 10 goals over 2 seasons. But Mertens has turned himself into a world-class striker while smoking cigarettes. So that's an achievement.
One of those and 2 of these, right?
Yeah.
For my underrated player, it might come to a surprise to basically everyone here, I'd say. He's a championship player last year, Timu Pukki. Hear me out. I think he's a fantastic striker. He's kind of like Glenn Murray, where his career kind of kicked off later in his age. I could see him performing. I could see him banging at least 15 plus goals next season for Norwich if he's starting. Or if he's there. He scored 29 goals and 9 assists. He scored 29 goals, got 9 assists last year in the championship, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's the top goal scorer in the championship, which is not an easy league.
No.
And he basically made Norwich a dominating team.
Yeah.
I think you've
last year.
I think you've got to see him prove himself in the Premier League before you.
But I think he could his form's not stopping because he performs for Finland constantly. For the qualifying for the Euros, he's got 4 goals and 3 assists in 4 games. They're in second in their group to Italy.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm
So
wrong.
right now he's performing as he should be. And
Did he know he's playing the Bundesliga?
Pukki did.
Yeah, did he? I thought he played Schalke or something. I don't know. It's just
I'm not sure at all actually.
I think it's just recently his career
Yeah.
really kicked off. He's been a great player so far. I want to see what he brings next year.
All right, Jackie.
So my underrated player is Roberto Firmino. I think if you have 2 guys like Mane and Salah on the same team as you, and after Salah had that breakout season, everybody just associated Liverpool with Salah.
Yeah, the attention was on that.
Firmino, every single season he's been in the Premier League, even after he got traded from the Bundesliga, he's had double-digit goals. For 5 seasons straight now, he's had double-digit goals.
been there for 5 years.
Yeah, he's been there for 5 years. And I think no matter what he does in a game, I still don't think that he deserves enough credit, or he gets enough credit that he deserves. I'll pull up the stats some other time. But he scored at least 13 goals for the 5 seasons and assisted 7 goals.
Yeah.
As a striker, if you look at Harry Kane's numbers with assists, Aguero's number, Aguero gets some assists, but
That's just how the
to
way
constantly
City
get
play,
these assists with Firmino,
and with 2 guys like Mane and Salah scoring all the goals.
he's super overlooked, and I think just because he's not in the contention for Golden Boot, people don't think he's like a great striker.
And I think a lot of the system they play is actually around Firmino.
It is.
The pressing and
he plays striker and center forward.
and
Something. It's like a 10 and a 9 at the same time.
He can play both. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does. I think he's one of the best false 9 players in the league.
Can't beat that smile. Colgate Whites.
He got Jurgen Klopp on it too.
Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to the most overrated player. For me, this was a tough one. There's a couple people I thought about, but this is something I've thought for a long time about this player. I'm gonna go with a little throwback. It's Lucas Podolski.
Yeah.
People talk about him like he was a great player, an elite player during his prime of his career, but he played 13 seasons in the top leagues in Europe and averaged just over 11 goals a season, which is less than a lot of midfielders get. And he was a striker / like attacking player, sometimes attacking mid or something like that.
Yeah.
And for as many teams he's played for, Arsenal, Inter, Bayern,
the top level clubs he's played at.
These top teams, he only won 1 league title and 3 cups at club level, which is that's pretty hard to do if you play for Bayern Munich for more than 1 year. I just don't think he never really showed up on the club scene like he did in international. I just think he's an overrated player because of what he did in World Cups and Euros. And even still, when you think about what he did at international level, he was playing for like the best team of the decade.
Yeah.
And that contributed so much to him scoring so many goals. But I do have to give him credit. He showed up for Germany, but he was just part of such a great team. I think that takes away from it somewhat. Everything probably the most kind of the most the evidence that clearly shows how overrated he was is the fact that he didn't score against Brazil in the 7-1 game. Being an attacking player and playing that game and not scoring, that says a lot.
I think the reason why people think he's just amazing is because of the goals that he did score were like
rockets.
Absolute rockets.
Yeah. It's kind of like Shaqiri a little bit.
Every time we went to, I guess this is similar to Shaqiri.
Just like if you show your highlight reel to your kids, you probably think Podolski's the best player in the world.
No, not like Shaqiri. Not like Shaqiri.
Every time he goes to a big team, he never proved it. So.
Yeah. Tell me he's not going lights out in Japan right now?
He was getting corona.
Big team.
Big team. Yeah.
Okay. My overrated player is a player that's probably not on most people's minds usually, but when he is mentioned, people get caught up in the romance of soccer and put him amongst greats that he really clearly doesn't deserve to be amongst, and that's Daniel Di Rossi, the Roma midfielder. I've never rated him. I'll be honest, I've never rated him, and people have put too much stock in a player playing with one team, being the leader. His stats were not impressive, especially for Serie A. He's
a holding midfielder.
Yeah, he's a holding mid though.
Yeah, he can't.
I didn't say his goal scoring stats.
Okay, what's stats?
So he only scored 55.
Wait, that's really good for a holding mid.
55 goals in his career?
For a holding mid?
I don't know. 50.
How many goals Paul Scholes scored?
You gotta think about penalties as well.
Yeah, okay, he did take penalties.
Anyway, people get too much caught up in he was like the silky, like they put him in the class of Pirlo.
Yeah, if you get him on Facebook, call him.
Okay, he's definitely not silky.
If you refer to him as
he's just saying he's overrated. He wasn't saying he was terrible. He just
because I think he probably watched it when he's at.
I can see where he's arguing from. I can see where he's
I think younger.
I've been watching him since
2006.
2006. And what I remember about 2006 is, you can put him on a list with the third choice goalie for Italy as far as players that didn't deserve a World Cup smell. He played 3 games of the 7, and he got a red card. So that's the only stat he recorded. That says a lot about his contribution to that World Cup winning team. Beyond that, his only other trophies were 2 Coppa Italias, and one Supercoppa Italiana. In a 15, 16-year career, that's all you achieve? I don't know.
How many has Juventus won in a row?
I don't know. No, Coppa Italia is like the FA
8.
Cup.
I think it's 8.
It's like the FA Cup of Italy.
Italy, yeah, but
He's only won 2 FA Cups.
Juventus has been on top for how long though?
Still, if Roma had better players than De Rossi, they
Fulham
might
beat Juventus
put a
with
better fight
during
against
De Rossi's
Juventus.
career.
Can't really blame
He should.
De Rossi for having a bad team around him, to be honest with you.
He's just, if he was good enough, he would have performed better.
Fair enough.
All right. You guys ready for my
I think he's a simple
overrated player?
Yes.
United fans will not like me, but I've gone with the David De Gea.
Oh,
He
I agree.
is so overrated for the performances he's put in for any international level and club level.
He choked so hard in
So
World Cup.
so in the past World Cup, huge mistakes on him. Even this preseason, I've watched him against Inter Milan. Inter Milan should have scored 2 or 3 goals when him coming out, mixing the punch, completely missing.
Yeah.
Thank God Inter Milan was playing like 4 17-year-olds. So no, for real, his stats since he joined the Premier League. In 2011, 2012, he started 29 games. And how many clean sheets he had? 0, it says. 2012, 2013, 0 clean sheets, 28 matches.
Dang.
The 2013, 2014, 37 starts, 1 clean sheet. 2014, 2015, 37 starts, 0 clean sheets. 2015, 2016, 34 starts, 0 clean sheets.
Dang.
2016,
That has to.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
and then it says 35 matches, 14 clean sheets. Then he had 1 good year.
That 14 clean sheets was the
No,
record.
I think
next
the
year
year
was.
the good year that everybody remembers.
2017,
Other than that,
2017, 2018, 18 clean sheets and 37 starts. And then this past year, he had 7 clean sheets and 38 starts.
Yeah. Because I remember like
Yeah.
a year ago or 2 years ago. That's when he started like being, oh, Real Madrid needs to get him. He's the best goalie in the world. But
You also have to think about
the defense. I was gonna say as
The
well.
defending is awful, but still, I think
I don't think these stats are accurate.
on FootMob, you don't think they're actually accurate?
There's no way
37
he
games
played.
and no clean sheets. I don't think that's right at all. Even non-league, even Fulham had more clean sheets than 0.
Yeah, true.
I just think that's maybe they weren't recording.
Hey, and we're
that
talking
stat.
about United here, though. Come
Yeah, man, still.
They got,
Maybe not
it got me.
YouTube.
Okay, I'm going on the actual. Okay, so yeah, it still says 0. Okay, now it's goals. Excuse me.
We'll get back to you. How about that?
Yeah, I think we all agreed that Hayes overrated.
No, I want to prove my stats. Keep going. I want to prove my stats. Hold on.
Okay, so the overrated player that I have chosen, it was a battle between Jaglan's,
Yeah.
but I have
I knew
chosen,
you were
I have chosen Dele Alli. This past season, he was just awful to watch. And he's never flair in the attack. I don't see what he brings to the game. He's had two good. I'd say probably just one quality season.
Can I come back to mine real quick? I'm sorry. De Gea has played 275 matches for United. He has 100 clean sheets.
I still think he's overrated though.
Do you even think
I
that's
don't
a good
think.
stat?
I don't. I mean, that's a good stat, but I also.
I
I also look when I hear best, right? When I hear best, I think of somebody who doesn't make mistakes, right? I want consistency.
Yeah.
So despite him having clean sheets and whatnot, you can't be making errors like that goal Ronaldo scored on him, where you just let it go through him. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't consider you the best.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
best is like consistent. Yeah, I think it's scored on, but it's a good shot. I would still, you know.
And people consistently keep putting him up with
with like.
the great no, he's not clearly as good as Alisson or
I don't
Edison.
think so either.
And I think last year showed the lack of his ability. I think this is a big year for him again. They're looking to offer him a 6-year contract for like $142 million. I think it's way too much for him.
I think people cut him slack right now because
how poor the
United
defense
defense
is.
sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
that's the only reason people cut him
I
slack.
think 3 or 4 years ago he was the best, but he's definitely been passed by now.
Yeah.
So
I think he was top 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know about the
I think
best.
Courtois was always better than him.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Really,
Courtois better than De Gea for sure.
I think Navas is better than Courtois.
I think
I think Iker Casillas will always
I think
be
Navas
better
has had a really
Bob
good year,
Buford.
really good
I
World
can,
Cup.
I can agree with you there.
I think
Navas.
Navas has had a really good World Cup, and he's did okay at Madrid. But look how he's
I
done.
wouldn't say he's done okay with Madrid. He's won a lot of trophies with them. How many Champions League?
I
Three
think
titles with them?
Courtois
Three
just
titles?
kick it through Courtois' legs and you have a goal.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has a big glaring hole in his skill set. Anyway, Jackie.
I'm sorry. Wait,
No,
you
I think we're
still
going back
Alli?
with Dele Alli, right? So back to the overrated young English underperforming talent, Dele Alli. He doesn't. He didn't. I wouldn't say he provides much defensive help for Tottenham either. He's not. He's just not the player that everybody thinks he is. Okay, I'll bring up some stats from last season. He had a disappointing Champions League. Don't get me wrong. But in 25 matches, he only
Didn't
had.
show up in the final.
He considers himself an attacking player. He only had 5 goals and 3 assists. So I think that's very poor from what everybody's standard that he's supposed to be at.
This season's kind of make or break for Dele Alli because his first 2 Premier League seasons he had 30 goals combined. It's like the last 2 he's had like 12. So
do you think it's got to his head, or what do you think it is?
I think he hit a wall, and
I think he's in a rut, but if he's bad again this season,
I don't think he's the English. I don't think he's the player. I think Sancho. Sancho. I think Rashford. They're much better English players than him. I don't even see him fitting in the English squad soon.
I just think. Yeah, he was really good 2 years ago, and he's gone worse.
And being as an attacking mid, he only had 27 key passes. That's
doesn't sound
that's not good.
He had 18 goals as a 20-year-old from midfield 2 years ago. So,
I think that's just a freak season, to be honest.
I think
it's just a freak season.
I think he was rated correctly then. You score 18 goals in Premier League as a 20-year-old, you're one of the top young players. But what he's done since then, I think, is proven that he's not as good as
he's an average player.
He's
maybe an above average
a player
of his day, but
maybe in his prime he plays for a Champions League team, but he's
every game I've watched, I forget he plays.
Do you consider him as a top 3 player on Tottenham?
No.
I
honestly don't think he makes starting lineup.
That's what I say too.
Yeah, Son Kane Eriksson.
Yeah, Sissoko's better than him.
That's right.
Lucas over him
Too. So I think he's just an.
I thought Lucas should have started over
Lamelo's better than him.
He should have. Yes, he should.
They needed a flair.
Winks is better than him.
And now Ndombele's coming in, so I think he's gonna have a tough time. I don't know.
All right, my overrated player is Christian Pulisic. I think he's heavily overrated. I think just because he's American and just because he has some skills and can do a step over in a game that people think he's insane. And I think the American media has blown him up. Fox Soccer
I think
sucks him up.
I think Americans have looked for a player to try to put everything into to blow up.
Yeah.
And since we saw a little glimpse of Pulisic, to be fair, he is the only breakout American player right now out of any of them.
I think he will be the best American player ever, but he's not. I don't think he's gonna be like.
I don't think
they overhype him.
I don't think they the dude's 20. He's got so much career ahead of him. But I think it was the fact that he played at Borussia, who was a top team. People are like, oh my God, we have an American player who's playing overseas on one of the best teams in the world right now. And I think with that status, we were like, dude, this guy's like the next big thing and whatnot. But look at his stats.
His stats are not very good last year.
They were not good at all in any year.
Really?
Listen, 29 appearances, 3 goals, 6 assists. No. Yeah, 29 appearances, 3 goals, 6 assists. He had 15 starts. I'll say the starts. 27 starts in 2017-18. 4 goals, 5 assists. 2018, 9 starts, 4 goals, 4 assists, which is actually pretty good for 9 games.
Yeah.
But the games, this is when he got replaced by Sancho.
Yeah.
But the games that he played before Sancho was a huge thing. 7 total goals, 11 total assists.
11 assists is pretty decent, though, isn't it?
2 seasons.
Oh, combined.
2 seasons.
Oh,
These are combined. These are combined.
Okay.
2 seasons. International stage, he doesn't
show up. Big teams, he doesn't show up.
He doesn't show up.
When they needed him, he didn't show up.
If you talk about this player so much,
he's the only attacking option we have in the United States, really.
Look,
you should only need Pulisic against Haiti, to be honest.
Yeah.
You get double team the whole game.
If I were to look back and I would watch players like Dempsey, if I saw Dempsey have the ball, even when he was in the World Cup, if I saw Dempsey have the ball, I was like, okay, something good could happen. Pulisic, you could think the same thing, but he's not like a. I don't see like goals pouring out of him. I don't see him being like a super creative player who like creates chances either. I just think he's a solid one-on-one player who can beat a player. That's all I think he is. He's fast, he's skillful, but that's really it. When it comes to being inside of the box, I don't think he has a superb knack of the goal. I think he can score goals.
Yeah, I know.
But he can't like He can't bang a shot. And he's a midfielder. He's going to be outside of the box a couple times.
He's a true winger. He's not actually a 10 or a center mid where we're playing him at right now.
Yeah, but
Because he is our best player, we have to play him out of position just to help the team out. Because if we put, who are we going to put in instead of him? Who's our other 10 that we could play for the United States?
yeah.
Christian Roldan, really? Come on.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
I also think him at Chelsea with Hazard leaving the same time.
Helps him, you think?
No,
It doesn't
I
help
don't
him.
think it helps him at
Too
all.
much pressure.
There's way too much pressure. He's 20 years old, and it feels like we've been watching him for a while because he
Broke
came to
through
the
pretty
scene
early,
as a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
and people think he's experienced now just because he has 3 years under his belt. But no, Premier League's way different than the Bundesliga by far.
Just a
Young
little-
talent in the Bundesliga can thrive.
Just a little Lampard magic. He'll get Pulisic going.
Yeah,
don't worry.
okay, but in all honesty, I think I would rather have like Hudson-Odoi over Pulisic.
Yeah,
For
I
real?
would too.
Yes,
100%.
I would. I think with the comparisons of Pulisic and Hazard, if Pulisic tries to play like Hazard, dude's either going to get injured or he's going to be a bust.
He's not on his level, bro. He's not on his
He's
level.
not nowhere near his level. And I think people want him to be that level just because of the timing of the transfers and seemingly there's no really other options. I really think that Pulisic is going to have such a bust of a season.
Dang.
I really think he is.
I think you have a bust of a career, honestly. If you look at how Donovan's career started, it's pretty similar
Yeah.
to Pulisic. So
I don't think Pulisic should have went to a Chelsea, a huge team like that, right? At 20 years old.
You don't think you're going to take the
At 20
opportunity?
years old, I wouldn't. No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think
Where would you go?
Dortmund and Chelsea are, I think, the same quality at the moment.
And I think he
Chelsea-
left
okay,
feeling...
it's just for money,
There's
honestly.
teams
It's
in
just for
two
money.
I
different
think he's
leagues.
going for money. I think
Yeah,
he's going to
it's
prove
for
people.
money.
I think he's going to prove people.
I think he's gonna prove.
They're two different teams,
I
two very
think he needs
different
to prove
teams. Though.
himself at Dortmund
should've gone
before he
to
moves on.
Dortmund's play style is way different than
Just boost
Chelsea.
your stats up a little bit.
Pulisic
It's small, thin.
did well for what he had
Italian.
at Borussia because he fit Borussia's style. Chelsea's a way different style. The atmosphere is way different. The media treats them way different.
Where do you think in Italy he could
Oh,
have
okay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
Well, when you were like Borussia and Chelsea
Such
are
a
like
weird
the same
signing
team,
for
so
an
you should do
American
well at
player.
Chelsea.
Yeah,
That's what I was
I
thinking.
Hey,
Like
Michael
this.
Bradley
Like
did.
this.
Michael Bradley did in Italy.
Onyewu did it.
I think if you start at a team very young, I think you should stay there and stay at a team that you'll get solid playing time. And
He wouldn't
keep
play
doing
But he
well.
wasn't getting solid
But
playing.
like that's the thing. Like if you
Not
can't
this
get
past season.
if he
The other
can't
games, he had 20 plus starts in both seasons that he was at. It's just Sancho's insane.
Yeah.
he couldn't make it in Dortmund's side. What makes him think he can make the step up to Chelsea?
Yeah, because they lost
Step up
Hazard.
in pressure. But like
And they have Pedro and William. I think William-
But
both
he
those
went
guys
there.
play
He
there.
went there
Both of them
before
play.
Hazard left, and before Hazard was even in huge talks of leaving.
I think they kind of knew already.
They knew
Chelsea
Hazard
knew
was
that
out.
Hazard was already
He's
going to
already
leave.
out.
So they knew
I
they
think
needed to
Chelsea got him more so for marketing than for
Yeah.
actual
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
potential.
dude, they're about to get so many American fans. It's
Yeah.
not even gonna be funny.
He's
But-
like Miazga.
I don't know. If I were him,
I bet they
if
didn't
I
make
were
any
him,
jerseys.
it would have
though,
been better for
yeah.
him. It would have been better for him to go to like
QPR.
a West Ham or like an Everton, not right straight off the bat Chelsea, where you're gonna have to fight for your spot, and if you don't get your spot, you're gonna waste 1 or 2 years. Go do the same thing that you did with Chelsea and just keep 1 or 2 years in.
If it was the Chelsea way, like the old way, they would just buy him and loan him out. And he beats the players lost on
Yeah.
But now that they
But I
actually
think-
financial fair
I-
play,
Yeah, I think
kicks
with
in.
the transfer ban, I think it might actually help Pulisic out with his position.
And
I
a
think,
lot of the younger guys like Mason
Well, the
Mount.
transfer ban's only a year, right?
No, 2 years.
2 years?
Is it really? Or 2 transfer windows.
Till summer 2020.
Oh, really?
Summer
So
2020.
that's next summer.
Well, then yeah, I guess that could help him. Because if he establishes a decent season the first season,
They would have loaned him out already.
but that
Because
means
of
he'd have to.
Chelsea, you know
That
what I
means
mean?
he'd have to play.
So-
I don't
good
think
for
Lampard would
Chelsea.
do
He can't
that.
just be like.
Well,
He just
they-
can't be
he
an
can't.
average player.
I think
Technically can't,
because
no.
I
Chelsea
think
have
Lampard
high
wants to
expectations,
focus on solidifying a team.
Yeah.
He was criticizing before on how many transfers they brought in and how
In and out,
in
yeah.
and out, and I think he really wants to focus on bringing in the youth and
established-
using the youth
yeah.
and building the foundation. for
Because
that
they have
team.
amazing youth players.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Tammy Abraham was an amazing youth player as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always good for Aston Villa. Is he still back at Chelsea as well?
I think you're on loan again.
No, I don't think that. I think he came back. But Aston Villa have they've
An option.
Aston Villa are interested in him,
Okay.
so he may not.
I think Mason Mount could have it also. Yeah, let's move on to the last little part, sorry.
Alright, so now we do a little breakthrough player of the season.
I don't
For
have
me,
much stats on this one, but I'm just.
yeah, I'll have stats.
I'm going purely on what I've
There's
seen.
no stats for
Yeah.
breakthrough.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking,
You can't because they're gonna have a breakthrough. Yeah.
I'm going with Vinicius Jr. I think
Mhm.
It's his time to step up and
With Hazard though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They're gonna be on opposite sides. I think they're gonna be on opposite sides.
Benzema's getting older. I think Vinicius Jr. is gonna start though.
He's not gonna be striker.
He's
Yeah,
gonna play striker though.
He won't do well at striker. I don't think he's gonna do well at striker.
Well, even if he's not gonna play striker, they still need more on attack, and Benzema can't.
I think it's gonna be
Vinicius was he was really good. Real Madrid.
So
I think it's gonna be Vinicius and Hazard out wide.
But who's on the right then?
It's cool.
Hazard out wide. No, it's
On the
going
right? On Hazard's the left.
Hazard on the right.
No,
he
Hazard.
He played on the right for Belgium. I think he. Okay, well you could switch either way.
You let
I feel
him-
like they're both
let him
good enough
free-
players
let him-
to switch.
Just let him kind of free roam a little
But I think it's still 18, so like I think it is his breakout year.
bit. Yeah.
I think he'll get probably double-digit goals.
Yeah.
My breakout player is Moise Kean. It seemed like by the end of last season he was scoring every time he played, most of the time off the bench. He ended with 7 goals in 14 games. So I could definitely see him making a step up. More time under Ronaldo's tutelage. It's only going to improve him as a player. And I don't see Juventus having a lot of depth in the positions that he'd play, especially young depth. So I think he's my one to watch this season.
All right, Ryan. I've gone with
Ryan, you've gone with?
James Madison of Leicester City.
Didn't he already have his
English
breakout
guy.
season kind of last year?
He's only 22 years
He
old.
played well last year.
And I think
don't
the
people are gonna
potential for
underrate
this
him.
guy is through the roof.
Yeah, he's like a Lampard.
Yeah, like he's.
What were his stats last season?
The thing is, his stats were 35 starts, 7 goals, 7 assists.
But if you watch him play, yeah,
He's
he's
unreal
he's
for
on a
the
different
team. He
level.
creates so much for that team. Like, I think if he really has another good year, if I was a top 6 club, I would really go after him.
Where could you see him fit?
I could see him at. I don't see him at Man City.
Tottenham.
I could actually see him at Tottenham.
If Ericsson leaves, I could see him replacing
Ericsson at Tottenham.
Ericsson at
Because
Tottenham.
I mean, Tottenham do kind of like bring in a lot more English guys than some of the other clubs, you know.
Yeah.
So I
they
think
Ericsson's
they try
supposed
to
to
get
leave?
talent from within.
Well, yeah,
the
so I think
country,
James
yeah.
Madison will actually be perfect. And I think if you
FL
just watch
Valley.
him play, man, like when they lost to Man City 1-0, when Company scored the banger for them to almost guarantee the title.
Yeah.
Remember that? James Madison in that game was the only attacking option for Leicester. The only attacking option. So I think like they're relying on him so much next year. And I think that's why they brought in Perez, so someone else can help out.
Yeah.
You know?
Because like Vardy's like long balls kind
By
of
himself, yeah. So Madison was the only one creating the attack. So I think he'll have a big breakout season. He's only 22 years old, and yeah, that's my breakthrough player.
So my breakthrough player, I'm going with Kubo. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited.
Wait, he's
Jackie
gonna
likes
play
that
him?
one.
Now I think
Jackie likes
I
that.
think if he could
Jack
play more of
Chan.
a central role and take Cruz's spot, because I watched him play in the friendly the other day, and he played more of that central role to find the ball at his feet. He's a great attacking option.
amazing.
He can
I
create
agree.
so much. I think if you just give him some times, and he's playing with the best players in the world, I think Kubo could be fantastic by the middle of the season.
I just think it'd be hard for him
I
to
have a
break
hot
through the
take.
squad, though.
I think he's gonna be the next Martin Odegaard.
No, I don't think. I don't
Listen,
believe.
Yeah, they might
Listen,
loan him
listen,
out.
listen.
They might loan him out.
The Japanese, I kid you not, Asian media is insane.
About him?
They're gonna put way too much pressure on his shoulders. He's already said it. He doesn't like the pressure that Japan's giving him right now.
Yeah.
And playing at Real Madrid, literally the biggest club in the world right now, with Hazard in front of you, Vinicius Jr. in front of you, all this young talent in front of you, Asensio, yeah. I really think he's gonna crack.
Just watch
he's
Haz-
gonna be
just
just
watch
like
Hazard's videos.
He's gonna be Odegaard, bro.
He could.
I think he's gonna be the next Odegaard.
Sometimes
Fantastic
like
player.
he's like
He's good. No, right, he is
He's
really
very good.
But I think, yeah, going to Real Madrid is going to be hard for him to
It's-
break through. Like,
Yeah.
some of these guys, like, I don't see Keane really playing
Yeah,
that
I think,
much at Juventus just because Ronaldo's going to be the number 9.
and I think to break through, you need to have a manager that trusts you to
Or
give you play
Vinicius. I don't
time.
see Vinicius playing much at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I see Vinicius playing.
They have too many tournaments there in that they always get playing time.
Vinicius plays a lot right now.
Last year he did because they didn't have another option out wide. But now that they brought in Hazard and now they have Asensio and at the other.
But they're getting rid of Bale.
Okay, true. They're gonna,
Yeah.
Bringing one in, taking one out.
I would say Kubo wouldn't play out wide. He played the center mid role for that team.
Yeah, but see, I would rather.
I think
actually,
they put in Isco.
Yeah.
I just remember
I would rather have Isco.
Yeah,
I
Jovic
wouldn't-
as a
Jovic.
forward, yeah.
Jovic is my
But they
breakout.
don't play-
Jovic is gonna.
Jovic is
do
my
well.
breakout.
You think so?
Yeah. He's gonna
Well,
start.
but, okay, but if you think about it,
Brook,
their front three though, their front three are really gonna have to mesh quickly.
I think
Jovic.
Zidane will
I think
rotate that
if it's
squad
going to be
a lot.
Vinicius, Jovic, and Hazard, they're all three players who have never played with each other.
So do you think Zidane's going to rotate that squad in and out every week?
Uh-huh.
That's
What he did. That's what he did before. He just kept rotating.
Yeah, and I could see Kubo fitting in that rotation and playing.
I don't know if he'd
playing good.
I think somebody to have a breakout, they need consistent playing time.
That's why I picked James Madison.
You know,
He'll
because
play every game.
if he plays games and he has one game every, I wouldn't say it's
Iheanacho?
breakout. I would just say he's
No.
rising. He's having a good start of a career at a good club, but
Like Daniel James. Daniel James is a perfect year to have a breakout year.
For
For
Man
United.
United?
Yeah, I think that's another player who
So
is going to
Vinicius
play.
Jr. will get more playing time than Daniel James.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really? I think they're about the same.
Yeah, probably.
It's about the same. All right.
So Jackie, who's your
Yeah, my bad, Jackie.
my breakout's Eden Hazard.
No.
Boo.
He's already the best player in top 5 in the world.
Not liking it.
No, keep going.
The dude is about. I'm almost positive he could have a Messi season.
Well, I mean,
In
he's
La
kind of
Liga.
already. He's so good at Chelsea.
You can't compare Chelsea and Real Madrid. You can't compare the Premier League and La Liga.
You think he'll make his case as like one of the best ever, or
Yeah.
one of the best in the world
Yeah,
with this season?
like he's gonna be top 3 in contest
for Ballon
for Ballon d'Or. In contention for Ballon d'Or.
He's never going to be on Messi's Ronaldo's level. I'm sorry to tell you that.
I don't know. He is
He'll-
freaking good.
He's a
Bro, listen,
fantastic-
listen,
he's a fantastic player, but
I'm gonna throw
Messi
him
and Ronaldo are
back.
just-
I'm gonna throw him back when he first joined Chelsea, and this is when people are like, "Oh, this kid's fresh. He just came out of Lille. Like this guy has raw talent. He's so silky and whatnot." That's when he had fun, bro. The reason why it's slowed down a little bit at Chelsea, even though he's still popping off, is because he's had all the weight on his shoulders. He doesn't like the seriousness. He was getting fined for not showing up to practice on time and all that stuff. This dude likes to have fun. At Real Madrid, fresh start. Spanish media is treating him differently than English media.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this dude is about it.
He's much more laid back.
And
like
defense,
personality.
and defense in the La Liga is way different than defense in the Premier League. Premier League, you get stuck. You got a guy always on you. La Liga, you got the space to dribble somebody one-on-one, and I think Hazard right now is the best player one-on-one in terms of. What did he get? He got the number 1 stat for completed dribbles, right, against people this season. I'm pretty sure he did, but.
He got like 15 goals and 15 assists. Something like that.
Oh no, he's unreal.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely nuts, and I think he's gonna hit 20 goals at least, 10 plus assists in his first season at Real Madrid.
I think he'll get to 30 goals.
I think he could too.
30 goals.
I think as well. I think 20 is guaranteed.
And
30
everything up
if-
above that, yeah. Well,
30
30's a lot. There's a lot of goals spread out for that
Yeah.
team, though. You know.
Because I don't think Benzema will have less goals now that Jovic is going to be competing with him.
For his playing time,
Kubo's
yeah.
going to be putting probably 10 up on the season.
I think Jovic is gonna start. I don't
Rob's
think.
disappointed. He's like, God, fuck you guys.
No, I think Kubo.
No.
I think
Listen,
Kubo would do
listen,
well.
listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I think
I think he's better than Vinicius.
what they
I
need
think
to do.
so, too.
What they need to do with Kubo is play
Just get
him.
let out.
No.
No, bro.
Don't
it'll be
let him
like
out.
another Odegaard.
Don't let him
Like,
out.
No,
he
they
gets
don't.
loaned out all
Yeah,
the time.
listen, they need to play him a fourth of the games of the season. I think a fourth is good for him to acclimate.
Let's go third.
He sounds just. Yeah, I don't know. I just,
Alright,
I
if
think
here's
they're
a-
gonna-
I think if you
I
want to win though, you need Isco,
If you're Zidane, what's your starting 11? Who's your front 3 at least?
Jovic, Vinicius, and Hazard.
That's your front 3, Jack?
Mhm.
What about you, Josh?
Front 3. Hazard. Starting the season, Benzema. Isco.
That's what I'd go with.
Isco
Yeah.
on,
That's right.
Isco on the right.
Well, actually, I do.
I think Jovic will be starting by the end of the season.
You think
Huh?
so?
I think it's
I'm going Hazard left.
Over Isco.
Alright. If we're gonna do
Asensio,
starting,
I'm going
Yeah,
Asensio
yeah,
on the
you
right.
gotta.
Zidane doesn't like Isco.
Yeah, he's not.
okay. If we're gonna go with
I don't
starting
think
beginning of the season, that was my ideal lineup. If we're gonna go starting the season, I'm gonna go Asensio, Hazard, Benzema.
Benzema does I think so. as
Isco
well.
in the midfield with Modric and Casemiro.
I'm
I
gonna do
don't
a
think
surprise.
he's
I'm going
smart.
Bale,
I don't
Spain.
think-
Casemiro, Modric, and Cruz.
Modric, they need to sell Modric. He's gone. He's
I
had
think
3%
Cruz. I think
goals.
Cruz has dropped way off the mark.
I think
That's why I
Yeah.
didn't put Cruz in mine. I put Isco, Modric, and Casemiro.
Yeah, Cruz. There's
I hate
the German
Casemiro.
player
I hate
that we
watching
played
Casemiro
with.
Yeah.
play too.
His name was Ibra, and
Yeah.
he said like him and all the other German people think that Modric is not Modric. Excuse me, Cruz is kind of getting overrated.
Well, yeah.
He just passes the ball sideways.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
there's no like I think Modric can actually carry and dribble the ball forward. and
That's what I'm
create
saying. If you look
Cruz
at the
is
team
just-
around him,
I think
if
Yeah.
you look at the team around him, every single player around him can do quick passes, dribble around people. Cruz is
sideways passes.
I think at the moment, Henderson's a better midfielder than Cruz.
I-
In all seriousness.
You think so?
In 100%.
I agree as well.
I think Henderson is at his best he's ever been. And Cruz is
dry
at
swing.
his worst since he was.
I think Henderson only works in that Liverpool system, though. I don't think you put him on Real Madrid, he will not be.
It's
I
arguable
think
if he
Real
works.
Madrid and
Huh?
Liverpool have such
It's
similar
arguable that
systems,
he even works in that system. I don't think Liverpool are their best when Henderson's starting.
I think they
I
are,
think James.
honestly.
I think Liverpool had the best when James
Think-
Milner started.
Someone.
Nah, I don't rate that.
Yeah. Keita and Henderson probably a better option. But that's all we have this week.
Are we not doing keep player of the week?
Oh yeah, sorry for a special segment everyone's been waiting for. Rob's gonna take us away with QPR Player of the Week.
So we got QPR Player of the Week. We're going with Luke Amos. Scored 2 goals in a friendly against Oxford.
Former Tottenham.
It's hard to choose, you know.
Are we doing our team?
When you have
player
one
of the
goal
week?
scorer,
Our
I
team
get
player
one
of the week?
guy scoring the goals. You're gonna have to go with him. So Luke Amos is QPR Player of the Week.
All right, what's your
Okay,
Fulham
Fulham
player?
Player of the Week. I think it has to be Anthony Knockaert. Joins the team. He knows how to get promoted. I'm happy to have him at the club. It's the signings we need to be making instead of the stupid signings we made last summer.
We just can't trust him in a high stress penalty.
Yeah, no
situation.
penalties in the playoffs, but everything else, he's gonna get us there. He's getting at least 15 goals, and I'm actually like ecstatic over this signing.
All right, so my Napoli player of the week, I've gone with Manolis. First game of the season, preseason game, scored, clean sheet, won 5-0, and I thought he had a really good game. Same for Insigne though. So yeah, Manolis is my team.
Really?
Yeah, he scored and they got a clean sheet.
I'll be honest, I don't rate Manolis.
You don't?
No.
I rate
I hope he proves.
I think he's a
he was on a
fantastic
he was on a pretty crap Roma team. So I think this is a big season for
I
him
think
to
he's
show.
like Mustafi.
He's better than
Cannot put him on
Mustafi.
Mustafi.
He's better
He's-
Mustafi.
Put him on Mustafi.
No, if Manolis put him in the Pavilion, he's Mustafi, in my opinion. Mustafi looked like a world beater in the Bundesliga.
Bundesliga.
Now we're gonna go Jackie with the Asian Player of the Week.
All right.
Asian Player of the Week, no question about it. Rob's boy, Kubo.
Hey.
He's putting the Asians back on the scene.
This
Last
week
one was
and every
Shinji
week.
Kagawa, another Japanese talent.
I'm surprised.
Now-
Who do you think the
Best
best?
song?
Who do you think the best footballing Asian country there is right now? Like right now?
Right now,
Yeah.
I think Australia.
Yeah.
I would say Japan.
I would say Japan as well.
Yeah,
I see.
Japan.
But Japan's always consistent.
Inui
Yeah.
is quality.
Japan's always consistent.
Inui.
And you the guy.
He's quality.
South
He's on
Korea will-
Betis or
you know,
Alvarez.
yeah.
South Korea, you should get one. South Korea, you should have like the best.
If you were gonna ask
Yeah,
me,
South
if you're
Korea
gonna ask me
has
who,
the best
yeah,
player.
if you're gonna ask
Best-
me
best
who
team.
the best Asian player of all time is, I'm going Ji-sung Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, his class.
He was trailblazing too.
He underperformed.
And
for us.
Son is getting there. If he keeps having these seasons, he's
Yeah.
getting to his level.
I think it depends on whether Duzumbia was born in the Asian side of Russia. or the European
Wait,
side.
considering
Yeah,
Kazakhstan.
Smolov was born.
You don't understand.
Akinfev.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's it this week. I don't know when our next podcast will be, but
Yeah, thanks
stay
for
tuned.
listening.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter. Retweet. We're trying to get this our fans, our fan group big. You know.
It's at uppercase ILTG P and then wait, hold on. At ILTG Pod. I love this game podcast.
I love this game.
Appreciate it, guys.
I love this game.
See ya.
Always for the channel.
Oi.
Oi!